So I want to talk to you about something very, very important right now because, as you know, the US TikTok app is going through a lot of practical changes because of the Oracle switchover. They are one of the companies that are involved in the actual switchover. So for those of you who aren't fully aware, this is just a quick, brief overview. You can do a Google search on this. Otherwise, it's extremely long, but we're also happy to share with you any information that might be helpful. But essentially, the algorithm has changed, will continue to change over the next few months. Now, one of the major ones that you're going to see is that, of course, those that are non-US, let's say you have a huge viewership base or engagement base, people who engage with you from other countries, you might see that drop, okay? Not immediately, but in the next month or two, okay? Now, do not let that discourage you. And there's a tendency, I think, even before any of this happened, that people were always looking at the algorithm as something that you could never know, that the algorithm was almost like the enemy, or that the algorithm was somehow something that you could never, ever tap into. That's our job. Our job is to teach you how to do that, okay? So when we're giving you these tips and strategies, like, come in and tap, 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 or when you're creating your shows and you're building out a narrative or a storyline, and you're a character in your own show, right? You're always entering as in you're starting your show as if it's already been happening for the last half an hour. So you don't sit in there and try to do the administration of sending out invites. You do that before, right? You don't do the administration of, okay, guys, hang on, I'm still setting up, right? You make them feel like they've actually entered into, like let's say if you're going out and watching, I don't know, some sort of theater, right? You want to make it almost feel like they've walked into the middle of the movie, okay? That's actually huge because the first minute or two, the algorithm's already fighting for you, as in they're trying to bring in as many people as possible. And the more and the better that your hook is, which is the first 1 to 3 minutes, right, will determine whether the algorithm brings in a large amount of viewership or a lower amount of viewership, okay? So that means if you're sitting there and not doing much, the algorithm will actually measure that against, this probably isn't really gonna actually get anybody in, excited. So you really, really gotta work on the hook. Again, and this is the thing I'm gonna end with, the hook is your friend, okay? And that means you should always be at least, probably every month, if maybe even quicker than that, but usually at least a minimum of every month, change your hook. Okay, you can do it quicker. Don't do it too quick. At least give it 7 days if you're gonna do it quicker than that, okay? Because you'll see the analytics. You'll see how people are reacting. You'll see what's working, okay? And watch the analytics, because the analytics will show you where the dips are, but also where the spikes are, okay? A lot of people focus too much on the dips. Where are the spikes? That means that's really where they were excited, and they want more of that, okay? Then begin adding those elements every single week. Think of it like a Lego kind of experiment, right? You're building upon something. And so what you do is you keep things that work. And then you keep building on top of those things that work with more things that work, right? And then, lo and behold, a month passes and you have an absolutely awesome hook that's now drawing in a consistent amount of eyeballs. So I'm sharing this with you because don't be scared of the algorithm. Don't be scared of what's happening with the algorithm. There are ways in which you can maximize how the algorithm works, okay? And as we get more information, we're gonna share that with you. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any issues at all, get a hold of Deborah or myself or any of the other staff. We're here to support you guys. So you guys got this. Work on your hooks. If you need any help, get a 1-to-1. Talk to you soon.